So number 7 is an American police procedural drama that lasted 5 series. It's The Wire.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes.
Now, The Wire
You
was
had an interesting history with this, didn't you?
Yeah, The Wire was a real labour of love for me.
You wore out your subtitles button.
Indeed. Well, no.
That poor lady in the corner mustn't have known what hit her.
She was running around like mad. This was one where I remember. Do you remember when first Love Film came out and you could get DVDs through the post?
I did the same thing with The Wire.
Yeah, everybody recommended this show, and I don't even think I had cable television at the time. I don't think I had FX or whatever channel it was on. Not my uncle at this point. This was other people recommended. Said, "Oh, you got to watch this. It's great." So I think I got the first 2 discs of series 1 through Love Film. And I sat and I watched the first episode, and nothing happens. And it's true, nothing of any
You need
note.
to send that one back, Gary. I don't think it was working.
Oh, sorry,
Yes.
See this? This the kingpin, all right? And he the man. You get the other dude's king, you got the game.
So how do you get to be the king?
It ain't like that. See, the king, stay the king, all right?
All right. What about them little bald-headed bitches right there?
Pawns, man, in the game, they get capped quick. They be out the game early.
These are Gary's Desert Island Dramas.
It's very hard to pick up the language. It's set in Baltimore, and it is all to do with the drug culture of buying and selling and pushing and supplying drugs, and the fight by the police force to try and break up these gangs, and in the way in which in the first series they set up a task force, mostly through sort of a comedy of errors and a bunch of idiots that come together, led by some people who seem to know what they're doing, and then a few sort of rough kind of diamonds that come together and actually put the group into a really good position. And they do that via phone tapping, hence the name The Wire. They find that the way in which a lot of these drug dealers communicate is via burner phones or pay phones. So that's kind of how the show starts. It's very hard to start if you don't understand the language and the terminology. I remember watching it then and thinking, "Oh, this is rubbish," sent it back. I remember that The Guardian gave away the first episode on a streaming service. This was before Netflix, and they did it on their website. And I remember watching that with my uncle and saying to him, "Oh, no, go on, let's give this a go." I tried it, but it was rubbish. He then got into it. Basically, he bought the first box
I'm
set.
just thinking, do you think we've made a massive mistake? Do you think we should have Gary's uncle on the podcast?
Yeah.
I'm just thinking whether, because Gary gets all
This
these...
is very historic. This will be the last podcast you hear from Gary next week.
It's Gary's list and Gary's final appearance. Sorry, go on. Go on, Gary, I'm sorry. Carry on.
And basically, he bought the first box set, and he did the smart thing, and that was using the subtitles. And then as soon as I did that, and I probably only needed them for about the first 6 episodes of Series 1, I was in. Once you understand the terminology, you are in. This is a slow developing story. I've even bought the book, which the show was written on by David Simon, who also was involved in Homicide: Life on the Street, which is another great series. In each series, he goes at a certain type of culture in Baltimore. So in Series 1, it is the drug culture. Series 2 is the failing area of the docks around Baltimore and the fact that it was full of crime. Then you have one about the school system, one about about the police system, and the final one about the media. It's just fantastic. There's a huge cast, absolutely massive ensemble cast. I think only a few other shows can really kind of say they have this many people in it. And it made stars out of Dominic West, sort of the main star of the show. In it, and Jimmy McNulty, in which he puts on a very good American accent for a very posh British guy. You guys, I don't know whether you guys have actually stuck with this.
I have not seen Series 5. I own all 5. I have not seen 5. 2 was a real... I mean, I enjoyed 1. I did, based upon your recommendation, I did do subtitles. Perhaps not for the first 6, but for the first 1 or 2.
I will not say much on this week.
Okay. 2 was a real slog. 3 I liked because it went back and sort of over. And then 4... I really enjoyed, but then when I looked into 5 and started to talk to people, they went, "Oh, you don't want to do 5. Nobody ever talks about 5." And I just
5
thought,
is
I
possibly
didn't say
one
that
of the
to you.
No.
Yeah, but I'm talking to people I trust and respect.
Okay.
The thing that intrigued me about Series 2 is that it did reset everything. It was almost as if Series 1 didn't happen for half the year.
Yeah, it was just not
and
as
that, I
compelling.
think, was very purposeful storytelling by the writer. Was, you know, things do change, things move on, things don't always stay the same. But then I think perhaps he thought, well, I don't want to alienate my viewers. I ought to go back to what is good and go back to it in Series 3.
Do you think this was your first experience of HBO?
Yeah, proper experience of HBO. I don't remember the terminology, whether The Sopranos was before this or after that. But yeah, I think this was very much my first foray into that.
Sopranos was before.
And I'd kind of watched The Sopranos and thought, oh yeah, either I'll come back to it or, you know, this isn't for me, and never really have sort of finished it. There is a fact that this is the first show that I could say that I binged watched.
Oh, really?
I ran through pretty much all 5 series one after another.
Because now I don't see you. I mean, you've got this. You've not only got this list, but you've got an even bigger list of shows that you are planning to go back to when you're reincarnated.
I dare even. Sometimes I don't open that list because it's like, oh no.
Yeah. This you went back to, so that is good. But what made you go back each time?
Well,
it was like you wanted to like it.
If enough people tell you to watch a show, eventually you must give in. And I think
unless it's me and Matt.
Well, no, but I think look at what. Well, I have to point to the Peaky Blinders experience that we've recently had. Here is a show that everybody's been going on about, and finally you went back and watched it because we all did. And now, where are you? You're up to date, aren't you?
I'm waiting for Series 4.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it does happen.
It does happen. I think eventually, if enough of the right people say you need to watch something, then you do end up watching it.
We do feel like there's less time to watch things now because there's so much stuff, and that was a time where you wouldn't have been missing out on a lot had you decided to.
Well, possibly a social life, but let's not go there.
Yeah, well, none of us have got that.
Overrated.